Namaste and welcome to Yin Yoga, also a restorative and gentle movement practice. And we'll be ending with 5 minutes of sitting in meditation. And for this practice, you'll want to have 2 blocks, a strap, a bolster, or a pillow, and a blanket. My name is Michelle. Find a comfortable way for you to begin sitting upright. You might sit on any of your props to make it more comfortable, especially if you're turning out the legs in front of you. You want to be able to lift the hips higher than the knees can drop. So take a moment to situate yourself so that you can feel upright, breathe comfortably well, and be relaxed. I wanted to share an excerpt from Seeking the Heart of Wisdom, The Path of Insight Meditation by Joseph Goldstein and Jack Kornfield. Compassion grows from proximity to suffering. It is a response to the obvious suffering that we can observe in the world around us. And it is a response to understanding the very deepest causes of our bondage. How do we foster and nourish a compassion that is not limited to particular people or situations? I've been watching the news lately, which I don't do very much of. There's so much happening around the world that can be very polarizing, as if we have to pick a team to side on. We may have compassion for the victims of social or political injustice, but can we feel compassion for those who perpetrate that injustice? Our tendency might be to feel a righteous anger towards such people, forgetting that their actions are coming out of an ignorance which is not only causing pain to others, but sowing the karmic seeds of their own future suffering. Can our compassion recognize that ignorance and embrace them as well? Here's a poem by the Vietnamese Zen master who passed away a few years ago. He was a peace worker named Thich Nhat Hanh, and he expresses very beautifully the possibility of all embracing compassion, without boundary and without discrimination. There is a seeing that all of it, all of life is in us, and that we can relate to it all with an open heart. It's called, Please Call Me by My True Names. Do not say that I'll depart tomorrow, because even today I still arrive. Look deeply. I arrive in every second to be a bud on a spring branch, to be a tiny bird with wings still fragile, learning to sing in my new nest, to be a caterpillar in the heart of a flower, to be a jewel hiding itself in a stone. I still arrive in order to laugh and to cry, in order to fear and to hope. The rhythm of my heart is the birth and death of all that are alive. I am the mayfly metamorphosing on the surface of the river, and I am the bird which, when spring comes, arrives in time to eat the mayfly. I am a frog swimming happily in the clear water of a pond, and I am the grass snake who, approaching in silence, feeds itself on the frog. I am the child in Uganda, all skin and bones, my legs as thin as bamboo sticks. And I am the arms merchant selling deadly weapons to Uganda. I am the 12-year-old girl, refugee on a small boat, who throws herself into the ocean after being raped by a sea pirate. And I am the pirate, my heart not yet capable of seeing and loving. I am a member of the Politburo with plenty of power in my hands. And I'm the man who has to pay his debt of blood to people dying slowly in a forced labor camp. My joy is like spring, so warm it makes flowers bloom in all walks of life. My pain is like a river of tears, so full it fills all 4 oceans. Please call me by my true names, so I can hear all my cries and laughs at once, so I can see that my joy and pain are one. Please call me by my true name so I can wake up, and so the door of my heart can be left open, the door of compassion. I invite you now to be with whatever is present in you, your physical sensations, your breath, and how you're feeling energetically. And your mind state and emotions. Slowing down your breath. Sense the inhalation now taking up more space in your body. And then feel that feeling of release as you let the air out. Allowing deeper inhalations, which in turn allows deeper exhalations. Sensing how the in and out breath go hand in hand. And so I invite you to allow a moment to offer gratitude for anything you can recognize with appreciation. And from that open heart space, set your intention for today's practice. Say your personal prayer. And as remember our connectedness to all of life around us, all things, near or far. To whom or what would you like to dedicate today's practice to? And let's set our intentions and dedications together while we create resonance using our voice, chanting Om 3 times. Inhale a little deeper. As you listen to your breath, creating a very gentle whispering sound, if you can, invite you to close your lips. Let's start to practice a breathing technique that helps you to regulate your energy to a balanced state, as well as help to focus and calm your mind and your body. And that's Ujjayi Pranayama, victorious breathing. So as you're closing the lips, softly narrow the back of your throat, listening to a gentle whispering sound that you're intentionally creating that is very slow and balanced. Inhale and exhale. Let's take the time to lengthen and balance the breath a few first cycles together. So as you're closing the lips, empty this breath. And on a slow inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 6. Exhale, 6. Now keep that going as slowly and evenly as you can, and keeping that gentle sound as well. We'll start to move the body to that sound. So if you're sitting cross-legged, I'd invite you to switch the shin that's forward or on top, just to even out how we're stretching the hips already. And as you root firmly through your left and right sitting bones at the bottom of your pelvis, lift through the lower part of your torso. See if you can create a little more space here around the hip flexors as you lift the rib cage. You can even use your hands and manually lift the bottom ribs up and try to feel a little more lower back space, as that's also a request by our live community today, is to focus a bit on opening the lower back. And then as you lift that up, let the shoulder heads roll back slightly, press them down, but keep lifting the lower torso. Now lift through the back of your skull and relax the shoulders, relax the arms. Inhale, tilt your chin, look up. Sweep your right ear down to your right shoulder. Slowing the breath down, glide your chin across your collarbones, opposite ear to the other shoulder. So take your time, go as slowly as it's comfortable for you, circling your head a couple times in one direction, and then a couple times in the opposite direction. Feel the sensations throughout your neck and even along the base of the neck where it meets your upper back, your chest. What's your body saying to you right now? It's always speaking to us. And now as you come back through center, let the chin be parallel to the floor. Glide your chin gently towards the back of your throat and continue to lift up through the back of the skull. Now let's bring some movement to the shoulders. As you breathe in, draw your shoulders forward and lift them up. Exhale, let them fall back and down. Inhale, shoulders forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Take your time. Let's switch. Inhale, the shoulders behind you and up. Exhale, forward and down. One more. Now let's take the rotations to the torso. So start to sway your torso over to the left, circling forward. Use the breath to pace you. Opposite side, circling back. Take a couple of circles, Sufi rolls in one direction, then a couple in the opposite direction. Feel how your weight is shifting throughout the bottom of your pelvis. And notice any sensations around your hips and your lower torso, like your lower back. Now let's bring a different kind of movement to the spine. Let's come on down to all fours, hands and knees. As you spread your fingers flat at the front of your mat. If you want to give your inner wrists a stretch as well, we're going to set it for cat-cow. You can spin out your hands to whatever degree they'll turn out comfortably. Letting your shoulders stack above your wrists, step your knees back a couple of inches behind your hips. And as you breathe in, glide your chest forward, roll your shoulders back, lift your heart and gaze, cow pose. As you breathe out, contract your abdomen, slowly dropping your head round your back, cat pose. Again, inhale, extend your chest forward, roll the shoulders back, gaze up. Exhale, lift the navel towards your spine, tuck the tailbone under you, and drop your head. Keep going, maybe another 3 to 4 cycles of cat-cow pose, or Bitalasana in Sanskrit. So now we're bringing your spine into flexion and extension, and when that slow movement is mindfully paired with a slow regulated breath, it helps to calm the nervous system by toning the vagus nerve. Notice the sensations all throughout your torso as you're moving the spine in opposite directions. Does one direction feel more challenging than the other? Just noticing without judging. Gathering information about your own daily habits of moving or being still by what's showing up in the postures. And on your next exhale, relax to a neutral spine. Now lean back towards your shins and we'll stretch the opposite side of your wrists and forearms. So make a fist with each hand. Press your fists into each other, giving yourself a fist bump. Keep the shape and now place the backs of your fists on the ground about a foot in front of your knees. Leaning down on your outer fists, bend your elbows apart off the ground. Now, the more you lean forward, the more intense you may feel this stretch in your outer wrists and forearms. So adjust as you need. Notice if you're accumulating any tension in your neck, your jaw, your shoulders and face. Relax all of that. Few more deep breaths. And then lean back onto your shins again and just give your arms some movement or shake them out. Shake out the hands. Let any sort of stagnant energy throughout your shoulders, chest, arms, and wrists move through. And then start to make your way into downward facing dog. So make sure your thumbs are wide and flat towards each other, your index fingers pointing forward or slightly turned out. And really lifting your hips high, pull your hips back. See if you can feel those opposite directions of energy moving. Your fingers are spreading, you're rooting down and forward through the hands, though the hands are still. And then energy is also lifting up and back through your tailbone and hips. Feel the head just fall freely. You can shake it out and even start to pedal your feet slowly in place, helping to stretch and warm up the backs of your legs, like your hamstrings and calves. Long, even breaths through the nose. We're going to continue some gentle movement to warm up. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you. And then exhale, gently step it forward beside your right thumb. Lower your left knee to the floor and take a moment to plant your fingertips right beneath your shoulders at the height that you need to be able to relax your shoulders. So you might find it helpful to place your hands in blocks, adjusting the height of the blocks. Tuck your back toes, and as you breathe in, just let your pelvis get a little heavier. So it's sinking towards the ground. The front knee is bending right on top of your front heel. You can even look up and open the throat, open the chest. Now, as you breathe out, lift your back knee. Start to draw your right outer hip back to whatever degree you can. Straighten your legs and bow like you have a flat back. And inhale, lower the left knee again. Look up, kneeling lunge. Exhale, lift the left knee, draw the right hip back, and fold, pyramid pose. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose. As you're bowing, firm in your belly slightly. Keep your throat open. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose. One more time. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose. Now come into a high lunge. Look forward. Step the left foot forward about hips distance from the right foot. Plant your fingertips either on blocks in front of your feet or your legs or the floor. Press into that as you inhale to stretch your chest forward, glide the shoulders back. Half forward fold. Then exhale, bow maybe a little deeper. Press to your feet. Inhale, sweep the arms forward, rising all the way up. Gently back bending as you tilt your heart towards the sky. Exhale, gather your palms in prayer, blessing yourself from your crown to your heart center. Let's take it through half sun salutation. Inhale, sweep your arms forward, roll your shoulders back, look up. Bend your knees if that helps you to bow with a flat back. Exhale to fold. Press with your hands. Inhale, lengthen the top of your head forward. Now take the blocks with you and frame your outer heels and step your right knee back. We're switching sides in that kneeling lunge. So front knees right on top of the heel, sinking your hips, tuck the back toes. Let your shoulders relax so your hands are right underneath your shoulders, not over here where it's hard to relax the shoulders or to control your balance. Breathe in, look up. Exhale, lift your right knee. Draw your left outer hip back towards straightening the front leg and bow as if you have a flat back, pyramid pose. Then inhale back to a kneeling lunge, look up. Exhale again, straighten the legs to your degree, pyramid pose. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Now bend the front knee, keep the back leg straight, look forward. Step the right foot hips distance from the left and fold. Place your blocks in front of your feet if you're going to press into them or press into your legs or the floor. Inhale, lengthen forward to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold to Uttanasana. Press to your feet. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and rise up. Rolling the shoulders back, look up. This time, with your right hand, take hold of your left wrist. Draw the shoulders down, seal the bottom of your front ribs towards your back body, and actively lengthen your tailbone towards the ground right between your heels. Stand a little taller as you breathe in. Keep the shoulders relaxed, and exhale, begin side bending to your right for a few breaths. With each inhale, root down to your left foot, lift your lower spine from the hips. And with your exhales, maybe you side bend a little further. Keep relaxing the shoulders away from your neck. Keep sealing in the bottom front ribs. Imagine you could breathe deeper into that left side of your torso, stretching the left wall of your rib cage. One more deep breath. So this is a lateral extension of your spine. Inhale, lift up. With your left hand, take hold of your right wrist, draw the shoulders down, stand tall, and exhale, side bend to the left. Press your right foot more heavily into the ground. Seal in the bottom of your front ribs. Lift your lower spine from the hips with each inhalation, but keep relaxing the shoulders. Exhale, maybe side bend further. Couple more breaths. Breathing into your right side body. Inhale, lift up. Now bring the hands behind you to either clasp. See if you can lift the hands at least a foot away from your lower back. If it won't go that far, then hold a strap between your hands like this so that your thumbs are pointing away from your spine, and space your hands apart as much as you need to be able to lift the hands at least a foot away from your lower back. Notice how that strap can increase your range of motion as we open up the front of your shoulders. Now have your feet at least hips width apart, maybe wider, parallel your second toes, and inhale, roll the shoulders back, look up. Engage your abdomen, bend your knees generously, and exhale, begin to fold from your hips. Keep stretching your spine as you're folding. So imagine you're trying to create a flat back. Now as you're stretching your arms away from your lower back, slightly bend your elbows and lift your shoulder heads away from your neck. And then gently shake and nod your head a few times. Relax your neck. Relax your jaw. You might take a big sigh as you stretch your mouth wide. Or flutter your lips a few times. And then let your hands fall. You might just let them hang loose and shake out your shoulders, or you might hold opposite elbows with your hands, still bending the knees, and gently sway your spine side to side, a way to help loosen up the back. Remember, bend the knees as much as you need so you don't feel like you're straining in this forward fold. Let's tune into 3 more full breaths. Plant your hands onto the ground and step onto your hands and knees or straight-legged plank. From there, lower your knees to the floor. Exhale, lower your chest and chin as you hug the elbows to your ribs. From in the belly, look forward. Draw the shoulders back. This is called Ashtangasana. It's actually a back bend that stretches the shoulders. With an inhale, slither forward and press down through the tops of your feet, coiling the chest up. Stay for a few breaths in Cobra. You could even crawl your fingertips outside of your mat and make it a wide arm Cobra. Maybe even look behind you and gently stretch your neck as you roll each shoulder back. Firm down through the tops of your feet so much that you can feel each toenail pressing into the floor. This action helps to stabilize your lower back as you're back bending. Now we're going to stay here a little bit longer as we're going to open up the front of the shoulders in a yin posture. We'll be still for several breaths. So take one of your blocks, maybe a blanket or a pillow, and place it on the right side of your skull on the floor. Slide your right arm out to the right so your palm is resting face down in line with your right shoulder. Plant your left fingertips on the floor beside your left shoulder to press the floor away with as you begin turning over towards your right outer hip. Then rest the right side of your head on that prop you set up to the right and pause. Take a moment to actively slide your right shoulder blade further down your back ribs and open up more space along the right side of your neck. With deep, mindful breaths, notice your body letting you know how far you need to roll back or how little you need to roll back in order to benefit from this yin pose. Some of you may want to step the left foot behind you. Some of you might want to wrap the left arm behind you. Now let's listen to about 10 more slow breaths. Taking your time, begin to roll onto your belly again. Let's come into Sphinx pose where you place your forearms on the floor as you're lifting your chest so that your elbows are directly beneath your shoulders and your forearms are parallel in front of you. Pause here for at least 3 breaths and just check in with your shoulders. Notice any difference you feel on the left and right sides. Actively lengthen your tailbone towards your inner knees as you stretch the legs long behind you and root the tops of your feet down firmly. Let's take together one lion's breath. So imagine breathing in to fill up your whole body. Stick out your tongue, open the mouth, make any releasing sound. All right, now let's take that pillow prop that you use, maybe it's a block, and place it on the left side of your skull on the floor. Slide your left arm out to the left so your palm is resting face down in line with your left shoulder, and plant your right fingertips on the floor beside your right shoulder. Press the floor away with it as you start to turn over onto your left outer hip. resting the left side of your head on your prop, pause and slide your left shoulder blade further down the back. How does that feel? Tune into your breath. See what your body wants to do on this side. Does this shoulder feel really open that your body's wanting to go further, in which you step your right foot behind you and or wrap your right arm behind you? And again, let's listen to 10 slow breaths. And slowly turn over onto your belly and come back to Sphinx pose again. Placing the elbows right beneath your shoulders as you broaden your chest. Lengthen the back of your neck and actively root the tops of your feet into the ground while stretching your legs long behind you. This time, let's take 2 lion's breaths. Let it be as releasing and clearing for you as possible. So take a full breath in through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. Once more, deep, full body breath in. Let it go. Sealing the lips, come back to Ujjayi breathing, that ocean wave, whispering sound, and plant your hands on the floor so you can press up to sit. Bring the legs in front of you as we set up for a restorative spinal twist. Now this is more aimed for releasing tension in the lower back, but you'll find it wherever you're feeling tension along the spine, if any. So let's start by placing a long pillow or a rolled up blanket, whatever sort of shape like this, to trace the midline of your mat at the front edge of the mat. Have your blocks and other props within arm's distance so that you can add them to this if you need. And then have a seat with your right outer hip flush against the back edge of that pillow, straightening both legs to face your left wall. From here, keep your right leg where it is, and now slide your left leg down the midline of your mat towards the rear wall, creating a capital L shape out of your legs. Place your 2 hands to frame the left and right sides of your pillow and turn your chest completely to face the front edge of your mat, adjusting your lower body from your pelvis down so that you can comfortably turn your chest to face forward. So you might swivel the right hip slightly towards the rear of the mat while that hip is still touching the back of the pillow. You might bend the knees, really relax your feet. And then from here, as you breathe in, lift your chest and stretch the front of your torso. And allow a few breaths to begin lowering your torso onto that pillow. Now, if you find that pillow is way too far to be able to really lean completely on, here are some choices. You can add more pillows, more blankets, and make it as thick as you need so that it comes to you instead of you coming to it. You can create an incline in which you place 1 or 2 blocks underneath the edge of the pillow that's closest to the front of your mat, it's furthest away from you, or get creative And make sure that you can comfortably just bear hug that pillow and completely rest. Now, if you want to turn your face downward instead of turning your head to one side, you can also fold your blanket and make a little, or use a block and make a little cushion for your forehead so that you can breathe like this. If you are turning your head to one side, if you're turning it to the right, this will make the twist even more intense, right? It'll go deeper into the twist. Just make note if you're turning your head to one side, which side you're facing, so that you can turn your head to the opposite side when we do the opposite side of the twist. Now come back to your breathing. Inhale through the nose, exhale. Really slow, even breaths again. And I'm gonna watch the clock for 3 more minutes. Let your whole body feel held, physically held in this pose. So if you're trying to hold yourself up like I'm doing now with my forearms pressing the floor, see what you can do to just let go of that doing. Sounds funny. And just let yourself surrender, collapse into the props. Let your mind ride the sound waves of your breath. Last few breaths here on this side. Very slowly and gently begin to press your hands into the ground and slowly lift your head. Stay aware of your breathing as you're transitioning. Lifting your torso, leave the props as they are as you start to rise up to sit facing away from the props, straightening both legs towards the rear of your mat. Sit up tall and just pause for a few breaths here. Let your spine unwind from the twist as you're noticing any sensations that might be shifting or lingering or fading. Hear the sound of your breath. Keep that going. Now leave your right leg where it is, facing the rear of your mat, and slide your left leg to your left so that it's actually pointing at your right wall, creating a capital L shape out of your legs so that your left outer hip is now touching the back edge of the pillow. Place your hands along the left and right sides of the pillow and turn your chest completely to face the front edge of your mat. Make any adjustments by maybe shifting the pelvis or bending the knees. Relax your feet. As you breathe in, lift your chest, stretch the front of your torso, and then take your time slowly lowering onto your props. Now, as I mentioned before, these poses, as we do one on each side, can really reveal if there's some imbalances in the body, imbalance in habits of how we move the body on each side. So notice if you need to adjust the configuration of your props to accommodate what's happening on this side of the twist. Make sure that your whole body can submit to gravity and just be held so you are not doing the work. Resting your head as well. I'm going to watch the clock now for 3 minutes. Draw on the invitation of each exhalation to release effort in the body, to allow your bones to sink a little deeper. What's coming up for you as we stay a little longer here? Noticing anything physically, mentally, emotionally, or even more subtly, energetically. As we talked about having compassion for those that are more challenging to have compassion for, And sometimes that can apply to how we're feeling in our physical bodies. Are there any areas of discomfort that you could bring loving awareness to here? And allow yourself to breathe presence into. Sometimes if there's chronic pain in the body mind, maybe from injury or stress or own habits of gripping, it can become more frustrating to acknowledge and give them loving attention. So how can compassion be helpful here? Now begin to press your hands into the ground, gently lifting your head, slowly lifting your torso, taking your time to eventually sit up and stretch the legs both out in front of you, pausing to pay attention. What are you feeling now? Scan your physical body. Listen to your breathing. The practice of yin yoga really teaches us how to be with stillness, how to slow down, especially when it can be so counterintuitive in a fast-moving culture. So notice any internal reactions to slowing down or to being still. Can you offer yourself compassion for whatever way you're relating to that? So let's go ahead and move that pillow or props aside so that you can stretch your legs in front of you. Take a strap, and as you are sitting with your legs in front of you, take notice of the alignment of your spine. Are you able to sit up tall where your shoulders are relaxed? Is the back rounding? Is there tension in the lower back that causes that rounding, or in the shoulders? If the latter, if the rounding is happening, use your folded blanket and adjust the thickness of it so that you can prop your sitting bones on top and sit towards the front edge of that prop. Allowing your pelvis to slightly tilt forward, then activate your lower belly. And so you can lengthen from the bottom of your spine up more easily. Now we're going to move into a outer hip, glute opening, and shoulder opening posture called cow face pose. So begin by turning out your right thigh at the hip and crossing that thigh as much as you can over your left thigh so that perhaps you're able to stack your knees down the midline of your body. Now, if sitting up tall requires you to straighten the bottom leg, flex the left foot and stay here. Otherwise, if you can still sit up tall while bending the bottom knee too, then splay your feet apart. Evenly ground your sitting bones, and now take the strap in your left hand. Raising your left arm, dangle the long tail of the strap behind your back. With your right hand, spin your left outer upper arm or tricep slightly to face forward. So you're broadening across the top of your left shoulder. Press the shoulders down and bring the left elbow behind your skull. Seal in the bottom of your front ribs, open up your throat. And now reach the right hand behind you underneath to catch the bottom end of the strap. Walk your hands as close together as you can. Some of you might drop the strap if you're able to clasp your hands. Think of aiming your left elbow to point upwards instead of to the left. As you relax the shoulders down, sit up a little taller, breathe in, slightly engage the belly to support the lower back. And if it's possible to fold forward without rounding the spine, and begin to fold for about 10 full breaths. Otherwise, you're sitting up tall and enjoying the shoulder opening, glute stretching posture there. Gomukhasana is the Sanskrit name of this pose. Now, if you're bowing with each inhale, think of pressing your pelvis further down as you stretch your spine further away from the pelvis. Hinging from your hips as you breathe out. Notice what sensations might be arising for you here. Now, as you press your pelvis downward, begin to lift the chest upward as you inhale to slowly rise up. Release your arms, stretch the legs in front of you. And either pause in stillness or gentle movement for a few breaths. Now let's prepare for the second side. Straighten the right leg in front of you and turn out your left thigh at the hip. Cross your left thigh as much as you can over the right, so maybe you stack your knees down your midline. Either keep your bottom leg straight, if that helps you to feel more balanced, or bend that bottom knee and splay the feet apart. Now hold the strap in your right hand and raise your right arm, dangling the strap behind your back. With your left hand, spin your right outer upper arm forward. Bring the elbow behind your skull and press both of your shoulders down as you seal in the bottom of your front ribs and parallel your chin to the ground. Reach your left hand behind you underneath to catch the bottom end of the strap and walk your hands as close together as you can. Remember, you're aiming to point your right elbow upwards towards the sky. Maybe the hands clasp. Sit up a little taller as you breathe in, engage the belly slightly. Stay here, or as you breathe out, hinge forward from your hips. Feel the weight of your pelvis as you root into the earth, and inhale, lift from your chest, slowly come up. Release your arms, stretch your legs, and pause for a few breaths, maybe with some gentle movement. Let's join the soles of your feet together. And again, sit up tall, relax the shoulders, open your throat, breathe in. And just briefly, a few breaths, start to fold forward, maybe walking the hands out in front of you or holding your feet. Bound angle pose, Baddha Konasana. Slowly rising up, breathe in, and find a comfortable way to sit so that we can practice one more breathing technique before we rest in Shavasana and enter meditation sitting down. So again, sit in a way that is comfortable yet allows you to feel alert and open for the breath to easily flow. I invite you into a practice of Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing, which helps to balance your energy and the left and right hemispheres of your brain while directing your attention deeper inward. I'll invite you to also place your left hand in Gyan Mudra, which also helps to turn your attention deeper inward. Thumb and index finger touching, palm face up on the left side of your lap. The right hand will be in Vishnu Mudra, sticking out your right thumb, right pinky finger, and ring finger. As you close your lips, we'll continue to breathe gently and sustain through the nose, using the right thumb to close your right nostril like this, and your right ring and pinky to close your left nostril like this. Alternate nostril breathing. Now, like we did in the past few classes where we practiced this, I'm going to invite you to hold the breath in and to hold the breath out for 6 counts, and to inhale or to exhale for 4 counts. So longer holds of the breath promotes deeper concentration. It's hard to think of anything else when you're holding the breath. So also promoting that is you can turn your inward gaze towards your third eye center, closing the eyes, the physical eyes, and directing your mind's eye towards the center of your brain. Now let's practice 3 cycles of Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, and then you practice 2 cycles on your own before we let go of controlling the breath and observe the effects of it. So prepare to begin by exhaling through the nose. With right thumb, close right nostril. Inhale left for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close left. Exhale right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close right. Exhale left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Second cycle. Inhale 4. Hold for 6. Close left. Exhale right for 4. Hold for 6. Close right. Exhale left for 4. Hold for 6. Third cycle, inhale left for 4. Hold for 6. Close left, exhale right for 4. Hold for 6. Inhale right for 4. Hold for 6. Close right, exhale left for 4. Hold for 6. Continue for 2 more cycles. Take your time finishing at your pace. When you have finished, relax to natural breathing and observe how you feel. And then slowly begin to lower your body to the ground, setting up for a few minutes of Shavasana, letting your feet splay apart, wider than hips distance, and maybe turning your palms to face up, slightly away from your sides, as you close your eyes and continue to breathe naturally, gifting yourself full presence. Coming back to your physical body, notice how you feel now physically. And then little by little begin to move and wake up your body, keeping the eyes closed to help you tune inward. Begin to turn over onto your right side and resting your head. Pause for a few moments to observe your breathing, to sense your energy. And then take your time lifting your body up. Please find a comfortable way to sit for 5 minutes, sitting in meditation. You may like to place both hands in Gyan Mudra, or to let the palms stack on the center of your lap, thumb tips touching. Close your eyes or steady a gentle gaze, downcast. And I invite you to allow a moment to settle into your anchor, which is something that you choose to focus on that helps you to be present. One thing that's always happening in the present moment is your breathing. So you might choose the breath as your anchor by resting your awareness where in your body you can feel your breath rising and falling. And anytime your attention deters from there, as soon as you notice, you might gently smile to yourself that you've noticed, and then kindly bring your attention back to the breath repeatedly. As Goldstein and Cornfield write, there are many levels in which we can strengthen and awaken compassion in our lives. We can practice it in silence as we sit here now. As you're meditating, when thoughts or feelings or images of the suffering of other beings arise, either spontaneously or by intentionally calling them to mind, bring your attention to the area of your heart, letting yourself be touched by their pain and allowing a response of loving care and concern. You might repeat the phrase, "May you be free of suffering. May you be free of suffering." To develop the feeling of compassion in you, let this phrase be directed towards the person who is suffering. This is an offering for your meditation. take a moment to notice how you're feeling mentally and emotionally. Bringing closure to our practice, allow a moment of gratitude to offer gratitude for anything you choose. Gratitude to yourself and your willingness to show up in this practice. Call to mind what your intention is for this practice. And remember to whom or what you dedicated it to. Let's chant together in closing Om 3 times, Shanti, which means peace, 3 times, and then Om. Take a deep breath. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Bowing in, recognizing the light within. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.